Death leaves a heartache that no one can heal. Love leaves a memory that no one can steal. A quote by Richard Hughes. As we travel this journey in this thing we call life, it's important to remember that our actions can affect others' realities. Many people believe that everyone has a set destiny, a beginning and an ending, a fate that no one can escape. They say if you put positivity into the world, it will return to you, that everyone should abide by the laws of karma. The question is karma real? Or is this no more than a human belief? The laws of karma state what goes around comes around. But if that statement is true, then why does it seem that the good seem to die young? Klamath Falls, Oregon is known for a lot of things, such as being the gateway to Crater Lake National Park, or its sunny high desert climate. Klamath Falls is a place drenched in rich history, beginning in the 1800s with the western migration on the Oregon Trail. As far as activities, you can either go hiking in the mountains or visit the many waterfalls that lay nearby. Klamath Falls is a great place to raise a family. It's all about community. Out of 365 days in a year, Klamath Falls hosts 300 days of sunshine, with the sun being a constant reminder of how bright your life could be. However, in the year of 2024, the sun would set, not literally, but figuratively. A tragedy would strike that would bring the community together, and it would be a reminder to hold your loved ones just a little bit tighter. December 20th, 2004. The world would make way for Aleeka Qualls. She would be born to her parents, Tosca Qualls and Crystal Davis. The place she would have her upbringing would be Klamath Falls, Oregon. Years later, on November 2nd of 2009, they would welcome another daughter, a daughter whom they would name Zion. From birth, the sisters were inseparable, sparking a bond that could stand the test of time. In their early years, they could be seen sporting pink. With their bright smiles and with their loving personalities, everyone who had the privilege of knowing them were drawn to them. Being the daughter of a tribal citizen taught them everything about family, respect, honor, to love others as you would love yourself. They were girls with dreams and aspirations. Two girls that would make their mark on this world in their short amount of time.
What's up guys, it's Zion today, and we are doing a short video today. So I'm just gonna tell you guys a couple things about next week's videos or next year's videos. We're going back to school in a couple days, and I just want to tell you guys something. Stay in school, and we're doing a couple challenges, but not this week. Stay juicy. Bye.
Over the years, bright sunny skies would turn to chill fall evenings, and with the passing of each season, the girls would become just a little bit older. By the year of 2024, Aleeka would be 19 years old, while Zion would be 14. As young women, Aleeka and Zion are described as kind, loving, smart, forgiving, inspirational, and funny. At this point in her life, Aleeka is described as a bookworm, someone who enjoyed reading, someone who was always thriving to educate herself. She had recently graduated from the Klamath Learning Center in the year of 2023, where she was planning to attend college in Sacramento in the coming fall. Her interest at that time was doing makeup, but she also had an interest in real estate. As for Zion, she's described as someone who enjoyed playing video games, hanging out with family and friends. but she also had a knack for traveling. She was also athletic, playing the sport of soccer. By now, the girls were still as close as ever. They were extremely close with their parents. They garnered the attention of people around them with their open arms. They were two young women headed for the stars, yet aiming for the moon. But before they could reach their destination, a fork would be thrown in the road. An unseen event would occur that would claim both of their lives. It would force their family and friends into mourning, while triggering their community into an outrage. Saturday, June 29th, 2024. Klamath Falls Police Department would respond to a 911 call made by the girl's father at approximately 7:59 a.m. Tosca Qualls would detail in this phone call that a man was armed in their home and he was now hiding. Before the officers could arrive, 7 minutes later, another call would come into the police department, but this time they were requesting emergency medical personnel. Shortly after the second phone call was made, KFPD officers would arrive on the scene. But when they arrived, they would immediately hear a barrage of gunfire. With no time to waste, they would enter the residence. But upon entering, they would find both Aleeka and Zion had life-threatening injuries. However, one sister would be pronounced deceased on the scene, while the other would be transported to the local hospital. Sadly, the other sister wouldn't make it. She too would succumb to her injuries. Whenever the authorities respond to a scene like this, the first thing they need to do is to clear the home. That way medical personnel can come in to do their job. And while canvassing the property, they would find the culprit still inside of the home, hiding. Without incident, 20-year-old Elijah Croy would be taken into custody, and an official homicide investigation would begin.
One man in Klamath Falls is under arrest for 2 counts of murder. On Saturday, Klamath Falls police officers responded to a call on North Hills Drive in Klamath Falls. A caller reported that a man was pointing a gun at a victim. When police arrived, they heard gunshots. Inside the house, police found 2 people shot. One died at the scene and another later at the hospital that they were taken to. Police arrested Elijah Albert Kincaid Croy and took him to the Klamath County Jail. According to the Klamath County Jail website, Croy is currently in the Klamath County Jail facing 2 murder charges, an attempted murder charge, and 3 charges of unlawful use of a weapon. He's being held on $10,000 bail. I was able to talk to Sergeant Ricklin today with the Klamath Falls Police, and she confirmed the information about the shooting. If you know anything about this case, call the number on your screen.
As the dust begins to settle at the home, the community begins to receive word on what occurred. Although the culprit was in custody, the community felt the need to push the issue even further, because the tribal communities would come together, and the indigenous would say that they are often prone to the police mildly investigating what happened, or not investigating at all. So rightfully, they had a fear that this case wouldn't be investigated properly. They would hold their breath in the hopes of the police department to do their job, but they weren't waiting. The family of the girls would immediately begin rallying around what happened. A vigil would be held to honor their lives, where they would begin to scream for justice for Aleeka and Zion.
Our girls!
Our girls.
Our girls!
I love all you guys. I love our community. I just want to get justice for my girls.
Yep. Little gum.
I just want to say thank you for all you guys coming out and showing support, and all the support you guys have shown us. And I love all you guys.
Love you! Love you, Crystal. Love you, man.
Come here, Crystal.
20-year-old Elijah Croy would be interrogated by the officers. During questioning, he admitted his fault. because after all, he was caught inside of the home with a weapon, so there's no denying it. Elijah Croy would tell the officers that he had assembled his handgun from parts he had ordered individually online. He details that on June 29th of 2024, he took that weapon to the home of Aleeka and Zion. Due to this being an ongoing investigation, it isn't clear whether he broke into the home or he was let in. But either way, he went to the room of Aleeka and Zion. He details that he then heard the girl's father coming towards their room, so he began hiding. After he hid, the father would discover him hiding. But in this instant, the girl's father seemed to be protected by grace, because when Elijah discovered that the father had found him, he immediately fired his weapon. But when he did, the gun jammed and it didn't go off. At this point in time, Aleeka and Zion are present on the scene. This is what prompted the first 911 call, where Tosca Qualls told the authorities that a man was pointing a weapon at him, but he was now hiding inside of their home. Due to this being an ongoing investigation, not much has been released about what actually transpired in the home. But sometime after the first 911 call, Elijah Croy pointed the weapon at the daughters. But this time when he pointed and fired, it worked. He then runs off and hides in another portion of the home. And this is what prompts the second 911 call requesting medical personnel. Which brings us back to where Elijah Croy was arrested without incident inside of the home. Initially, when Elijah was questioned on a motive, why he did what he didn't offer one. Detectives on the scene came to the conclusion that he wasn't there to rob the home. They believed that Elijah Croy's motive was that he set out to violate the two girls, because after all, he was initially found hiding inside of their bedroom. Elijah Croy would be transported to the local jail, awaiting his trial date, and on Wednesday, August 21st of 2024, he would have his pre-trial hearing. During this hearing, it would be decided that Croy's arraignment date would be postponed to allow him to be admitted to the Oregon State Hospital. The judge ordered that he be remanded there over a period of 30 days. That way he can be analyzed to see if he was fit to stand trial. So, August would pass, and then September, and then October. But on November 19th of 2024, he would have another day in court. But when he showed up to court, the court deemed him not fit to stand trial. So once again, this court case is being delayed. But although he was seen not fit to stand trial, his defense would enter a plea of not guilty to all 3 separate charges that he's facing. Which brings us to this point. We have a suspect in custody, Elijah Croy, who's being seen unfit by the courts. They're saying that if they prosecute him at this point, he wouldn't understand what's going on during the court proceedings. But the evidence that was released, and it's only a little, speaks otherwise. We have a 20-year-old man who purchased individual weapon parts off of the internet. He then took those parts and he assembled it. Now, if you guys are wondering why he ordered individual parts, it's because he was assembling a weapon that couldn't be traced. That in itself shows 100% premeditation. He then goes to the home and attempts to take the life of Tosca Qualls, which he fails to do so. And then he turns that weapon to Aleeka and Zion, where it's then successful. During those moments of the weapon jamming and the father calling 911, he had amplified time to think about his actions. He could have left the home. After all, at that point, he has a hand up. But he doesn't. He decides to turn the weapon on his daughters and finish the job. But that's not where the story ends. Because again, I mentioned he was taken into custody without any type of incident, which means he willfully went with the officers after knowing the act he committed, which lets you know at that point of time, he was in his right mind. He knew at that point that if he tried any type of altercation with the officers, he wasn't going to walk out alive. So at this point, he's smart enough to order untraceable parts in order to assemble a weapon offline. But he's also smart enough not to get rowdy with the authorities when they show up. But by the time he gets to court, he's insane enough not to stand trial. Are you seeing where I'm going with this? The fact that he's been mentally evaluated and found ineligible to stand trial is beyond me, because everything about this case screams premeditated. And if he's smart enough to plan all of this where his plan was to get away scotch-free, then he's smart enough to stand trial. But who am I to speak on this, right? I'm just a YouTuber. I'm not a psychologist, and I can't evaluate anyone. But when the facts speak for themselves, what more do I need to say? The family of Aleeka and Zion Qualls are now trapped in a fight geared toward justice. And with everything that's going on, it doesn't seem that they'll get their justice anytime soon, because I'm sure that the defense attorney is going to continue to delay this case over and over. It's a common tactic. Delay the case, that way the case loses momentum. But let's hope that's not the case here.
Like I said, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing up here seeing you guys all together right now in unity and solidarity and just the hearts of love. You see, death brings out a different side of people. It brings out the nasty side. And we've had a lot of death around us in the past years, and we've seen it firsthand, and it sucks. It creates division. And that's exactly what the enemy wants. So we got to be ready for when it happens. We got to be ready, and we got to stand true to each other. We got to lift each other up. We got to encourage each other.
I'm trying to get my strawberries, bro.
There's a lot of colors, I don't know where to go. See a lot of colors, only feeling blue. There's a lot of colors, lost within a haze.
Andrea, the two sisters who passed away are 19-year-old Aleeka and 14-year-old Zion. We're told the two were more than sisters, they were best friends.
The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. There are a lot of voices drowning in the sea. There's too many voices talking back at me. There are a lot of choices waiting to be made. Too many choices making me afraid. Dreams are not the same for me. Standing by the shore while you're on the open sea, cannot take this anymore. The dreams are not the same for me. Standing by
happened to Aleeka and Zion is completely tragic. Two bright girls lost their lives for essentially nothing. It's heartbreaking all around. Rest in peace, Aleeka and Zion Qualls. Thank you for being a light for others. I truly hope you receive the justice that you deserve.
The dream